Hey Clashers, there was a new mode released with the last update. The hard mode was here to give the pro players out there a more challenging experience when doing their tournament matches. What this means is you can go in your chat, post a friendly challenge, a friendly war, and you can just put this check mark with the hard mode, and the game is going to be a little bit harder within that friendly war or friendly challenge. To be more specific, 5% more defensive damage, and the heroes are a little bit weaker. But the question now is, should this feature be released in other areas of the game as well, like Legend League or for example the Clan War League? And as well, how much impact did those number changes truly had to the competitive scene? Well, I think today we should take a look at some data, at some numbers, and see how much impact this mode truly had. Was it actually any? Is it hard enough even for the top players? And after that, then we should take a look at if this feature should be implemented to the Legend League and to the Clan War League, and if so, what would be the best way of doing that? Let's dive into the numbers for the hard mode. And if you're looking for numbers around the competitive scene, there is one person you have to follow, which is Doluk, because he has as well created a lot of bots to track the competitive matches, to track hit rates and see the performance. As well, you can join the Clash network because you can then follow all those competitive players on that Discord. All of those links are obviously down below. But let's take a look at a couple of things which he posted, because he did post about the hard mode just after its release. First off, he has showed us, I think, two really important things. First off, the overall graphic of the hit rate. And this is then put into different categories of the teams which are tracked. This means listed, registered, and unregistered. Unregistered are tournament players, or more like tournament teams, who play like here and there a tournament, but they are not that consistent with actually joining tournaments. You can call them the casual tournament players, I guess, and you can tell as well by their hit rate in red. They don't have the greatest success rate, between 50 and 60% roundabout, I guess, with ups and downs. But the next one is going to be the registered teams, which is pretty much the opposite, which are the casual tournament teams, which are more consistently joining tournaments in general and are consistently joining within different community tournaments, because there is a lot of community tournaments out there. You can already tell the difference might be not the craziest, but they are a little bit more consistent and a bit better with the hit rate. But the big difference, the big jump in hit rate is as soon as we go into the listed teams, which is the top teams of the competitive scene. And they are having a hit rate of currently above 90% in the regular mode, which is quite impressive to say. So, with that in mind, we should now take a look at the overall hit rates of, well, comparison normal between hard mode. And again, we have the wonderful graphic from Doluk, where you can see on the far left side, yes, the category of all teams together. The hit rate in the regular mode is like around 70-ish%. And well, in the hard mode, it's around 50%. So a difference of 20%, which is not that bad, to be honest. We have the unregistered teams, which are even with their hard mode hit rate around Town Hall 15 times. So like Town Hall 15 meta or something, which is, you can tell, it gets higher though really quick with moving up the categories, because the registered team already have like a 10%, more than 10% higher hit rate in the hard mode. And then moving on to the listed teams, it's around 70%. And now we have even another category, which are the ranked teams. This is like the top 10 teams within the community. And that's then around 75% still, which is crazy. With seeing those numbers, the question is now, is the hard mode too hard? Is it too easy? What exactly is going on? I think overall it's already a pretty good direction. But I think as well, teams will adapt. This is still somewhat new, and the hit rates will go up a little because people are getting used to it. People are getting now slowly back to used to having a more challenging game. So I think the hit rates won't stay like this. They will go up over time. So what would be the changes? Well, I think first off, troops should have a little nerf as well in the hard mode, which means maybe the HP getting reduced a little bit, like 5% or something. But as well, more importantly, I think the equipments need to be as well balanced within that hard mode. Because yes, there are hero nerfs within the hard mode, but that is only for the base stats of those heroes. The base HP and the base damage is getting reduced. The equipments, well, with the fireball, you can still take down half of the base, which is obviously then a bit problematic when the equipment is having so much impact. So I think the equipments for sure need to be toned down a little bit in the hard mode. The same as, in my opinion, with the troops. With that being said, I think that would move the hit rates a little bit further down below as well, and currently that is the only purpose of this mode, making sure that competitive players have a great challenge, and typically, learning from the past, the harder it is, the more people like the challenge and the more they enjoy the game, which I think is a positive thing. This is what this mode is here for. But now the question is, with seeing that it works for the competitive players and the game is more challenging, the question is now, with other areas of the game where there are top players located in those certain ranges of Legend League or, for example, of the Clan War League, should this hard mode be amplified for example, Clan War League Champion 1, or for example, a certain trophy range of Legend? Let's take a look at some more things. And I think for Clan War League, it's a quite easy thing, right? Like, you could argue, okay, it should be there for Champion 1, maybe it should be there for Champion 2 and 3 as well. But overall, I think for the highest level in the Clan War League, you could for sure bring an argument that the hard mode should be there. Overall though, I was a fan when Supercell in the beginning said that it's optional, so I could understand when Supercell says that they won't bring it for Clan War League. Legend though, on the other side, is a different topic, because there is on one side the option of saying, well, last season people have pushed to 6,000 plus trophies, so we could say that 5,000 to 5,600 trophies, for example, is the regular Legend League, and then as soon as you're getting higher than 5,600 trophies, this is then where the Legend Hard is starting, which is pretty much a new trophy league, and that would be then with the hard mode, which is still somewhat optional, because you can decide if you sign up and obviously push that high in Legends, and most people who are pushing that high are not really casuals anymore, so that would for sure work. On the other side, a suggestion Doluk had, and I love that one to be honest, is give people the complete optional choice of letting them play with hard mode or with the regular mode. Obviously, trophies would need to be adjusted. What do I mean by that? So Doluk's suggestion here is the following. If you're playing in the regular mode, like doing regular attacks and stuff, if you're doing a triple, you still get 40 trophies. Everything as usual, nothing really changes for you. But if you in the attack screen, for example, have the check mark with the hard mode, your triple are now worth, for example, 60 trophies instead. That obviously means as well for the defense and everything. But this means you're gaining more trophies for, well, the hard mode when you have that activated. I think that would make a really cool environment where, well, people, obviously when you want to push as high as possible, you would need to have the hard mode activated, but casuals don't really care of like getting into the top 100, I guess, right? So this would be the perfect thing where it is optional, but at the same time, people can use it to have a more challenging time in things like Legend, because let's face it, I guess Legend League is currently the more, well, I guess the one step before getting into tournament play. It is competitive, for sure, it is challenging, it should be for sure, but this is why I think it would be really cool to have this hard mode some way or the other in there. I personally think that the suggestion of Doluk is amazing. I think it's really, really cool. And obviously there's a lot of little things where you have to think about, okay, how does the defense then work? How does this work? Whatever. Is this maybe a problem with the matchmaking? Maybe if someone is really high in trophies and he's choosing not to go with the hard mode, does he find anyone? All of those things obviously are still there as a question. But I would love to hear your opinion. What do you think in general of those suggestions? Of either having this hard set trophy limit as soon as you're crossing the 5,600. Obviously, this number could be changed, right? But like crossing a certain limit in trophies and then you are within the hard mode. Or do you like as well the suggestion of Doluk, where you say it's completely optional, but you're getting more trophies if you're 3-starring or if you're attacking in general when having the hard mode activated. So overall, a lot of suggestions, I would say, when it comes down to the hard mode. But the one thing to come to a conclusion is I would love to have the hard mode a little bit more challenging with troops and with changes to the equipment. And I would love to see that as well in the Legend League, because I have to say, I was sharing the opinion that I think it should be in tournament play, it should be in friendly challenges and friendly wars, and not really in the rest of the game. But I have seen so many comments and so many people of actually arguing and bringing points where it should be there that I have to say, you guys convinced me. Like, really, it makes sense that I feel like that it should be in Legend. Let me know what you think. What suggestions did you like the most? Do you think maybe, no, it should be not in Legend, it should be only for the tournament players? I would love to hear your opinions. I think those are always great to exchange. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching as always. I wish you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.